Hi everyone, Jo here again. Lovely that you can come and join me. Hope you had a lovely weekend and that your new week has started well. Now today, I actually want to create a little piece to go in my mini journal. But I know not all of you are into your journaling, which is fine. I mean, I know some of you like scrapbooking, but some of you are just card makers. Well, I say just card makers, there's no just anything, is there? But primarily you do like to put your designs on cards. So what I've done is I've created my design ready to go in my journal, but I've actually made it into a card, and then I'm going to recreate one and add that into my journal if that's okay. So this is my finished piece in just on a lovely card, and I've used a 6x6 card, and again I'm doing the using my scraps up. And I'm so glad that so many of you are entering into this and that you've started looking at those smaller pieces of card that you keep, you know what we're like, but we don't always use. And here we've got our lovely Olivia, and this is the small version. We have a large one and a small, and I love this. Every dream begins with a wish. So that's the card design. I've decorated my envelope as always, and I'm just going to pop that here, and I'm going to explain why I came up with that design. And when I looked in my little journal, I had one of these pages where I'd gone through my stencil, and this is, I think it's the flower spray stencil, and then with spritzed the back and used the mop up and created a background. And often we say this, don't we? We create backgrounds and then we clean our stencil and we say we'll use that later, but we don't. And so many of you have messaged me and said, how do we use our scraps up? So I thought I'd come to my journal and look at one of these pages that was almost half done. I've actually sewn a little bit when I looked of thread through the pages. So what I've done is, as I say, I came up with that design ready to go on this side, and I've already created the sentiment on this side, because obviously on my card I've popped it at the bottom, but when I put this here I won't have the space, so double-sided I put my sentiment on this side. So the piece of card I've got, as I say, is Multi-Fairies card, and it's 4.5 inches by 3 inches. And the first thing we're going to do is put that black line round. Now, as you know, for me, I like to do this at the beginning. And that's only because if I do it at the end, Murphy's Law says I'm going to whiz. And I know there are some very clever people who can do it, but it's just not me. Mine would whiz straight across if it was, you know, if it's a piece of scrap card, it'll do it fine. Right, and we'll put that under there, because obviously I'm going to reuse that, aren't I? And we'll try and have a cleanish piece. And what we'll do to start off with is I'm going to stamp our lovely, as I say, Olivia, and she's the smaller one. I'm going to use my black, my VersaFine Claire Nocturne. She's beautiful, and the reason I chose her is I thought, you know what, I haven't used her for a while, and I had a workshop the other weekend and I was saying to the ladies, you know, I honestly do, I think of my stamps at night, and they all come alive and they talk to each other, and the ones that haven't been used for a while get all upset and say, oh, she hasn't used me for a while. So we decided we could make a film and call it Craft Story or Stamp Story. You know, it's funny, these conversations we have at workshops. But I love the way our minds can wander. Now, she's a silhouette, so I'm just giving the ink time to soak in. She's a beautiful, beautiful design. And there we go. Look at that. So beautiful. And then I'm going to use the tall dandelion, and we'll have a little bit of stamping. Again, I love this, and it goes so beautifully with the seed heads. So we'll have sort of a full one there, and then a little bit there. And then we'll have one here, maybe just second generation there. I love to use my second generation, and then we'll just have that. And I'm not going to do there because I don't want it to almost even. And then I'm going to come in with the field grass. Or is it the orchard grass? Let me just... Do you know what? The stamps disappeared. Do you know, it's those magic fairies. Where have they taken it? Oh, it's there. Right, so I've just got the orchard grass. Does that ever happen to you? You know, I put things on my desk and I can't believe where they go. And I'm going to come in with my verdant because I don't want it to be overpowering, and the verdant's just such a lovely light colour, and it's almost like it will take the grass into the background. And again, a combination of first, second and third generation. And as I say, I like to often just use the tip just in the background there. We'll just have a little bit at her legs, look. And I think that just finishes. It's amazing how much detail, you know, we can get on a smaller piece of card. And then we've got our lovely mini seed head. And this is one of the pound range. I love these little stamps. There's so much you can do with these. And we'll just pop this one in the corner, just flying off up there. And if you notice, when on my finished card, I just put one here with the sentiment. And again, I just think it ties it all together. So we'll give that a bit of a blot. Again, it's a slower drying ink, so we'll just give it a blot. And then I'm going to come in with my elements. And again, I'm going off the colours in the background, so obviously it's got to be the green. So we've got lime punch for this. And then I'm going to bring in my acetate circle mask. And if I go for this size, look, I can just fit lovely Olivia's head in. Again, we don't want to chop her head off, do we? That would be very unfair to the fairy. And we can just get the seed head look. I'll just blend it on the lid and start at the bottom. I don't want to go out too far. So just gentle, gentle. Yeah. And I'm going to pop that back on because I'm going to come in and add some gentle stenciling to match with my background stencil. As I say, it was the flower spray. Now, Sarah, you'll be proud of me. Look, I've used this stencil so much and with sprays, and look, it's actually not clean. It's got some, so you'll be proud of me. I have got the odd stencil that isn't too clean. And I'm just going to decide where I want it, and I'm going to go for there. And I'm just going to gently, gently. I don't want this stenciling to be overpowering. It's a little bit in this corner. And again, I can lift up, look, just so I can see exactly how much stenciling I've got. But I don't want it over the moon area. And I'm just going to come in stronger along the bottom. And if I lift that up, look, you can see how it's lovely. We've got some detail, but as I say, it's not overpowering. And then we'll just add a little bit more in the corners, just to frame the whole design, a little bit along the base, look. And this corner. And even though we've added more ink, look, in that corner, tone on tone, you can still see that lovely stencil work. But again, it's all about being gentle with these brushes and almost tickling and building it up. And as long as you don't go in too heavy, you will actually see how you can sort of build it up, and you do get more depth. So we're going to add a little bit of colour now, and I'm coming in with my lovely clean colour, and I'm just using 3 of them. You won't be surprised which colours. So it's number, should know these off by heart now, shouldn't I? 51, which is lemon yellow. Nearly said limoncello then. 52, which is bright yellow, but it's quite an orangey colour. And number 20, which is red. So I'm just going to start and just colour her wing. I'm just going to add a little bit of the red. And then I'll come in with the orangey colour, going over the red. And I want the orange to be quite a bit down there. I'm just going to pick up a bit of that red so I can drag it down there. Just blend it out. Then the same thing with my yellow. I'll pick up a bit of the orange to blend that. and then just blend that out into the yellow. And as I say, the colours, they don't contaminate the nibs. When I put the orange on, it will go back to yellow. But if you're worried, you can always just wipe it on a piece of kitchen towel or a piece of copy paper. I find they blend so beautifully. And a little bit of yellow over the top of it all, just for good measure. So I love the way that's blended. And then with this orange, I'm just going to add a little bit. Oh, that one's just popping in, look. Pop the lids on. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of sparkle for my highlight. So I'm going to use my Wink of Stella. And so I'm going to go round the moon here. And I'm also going to add it on my lovely seed heads, look. So instead of using, and again, it's nice just to use different things. So we could use quite often I would add colour with the glitter or the Stickles glitter glue or my white Posca. But just for this one, I'm going to use my, and also where I would add highlight with my white pastel pencil or my gel pen. I'm just going to use my Wink of Stella look and make her glittery. And it will sparkle more when it's dry, but I'll try and just give you a hint there. Now I'm also going to add some on a wing, but I'm starting with the yellow. Because my zig pen isn't quite dry yet, I will catch a little bit of the colour on my Wink of Stella. Look, so again, I'll just get a piece of tissue and clean it. But that really will sparkle when it's dry. It's quite sparkly now, actually. And then I'm going to come in with my orange. And this is my orange sparkle Posca. And I'm just going to add just at the end of these, lovely. And just at the end. I don't want to overcook it. I could add here, but I think that would be too much. I like it just that amount. So I think this is going to look lovely in my journal. So I'm going to bring in, and this is one of the smaller journals, and this is the rough one. I know a lot of you ask. This is a rough one just because I personally like the texture, but the smooth one is easier to stamp on the pages. But I just put extra padding underneath on the rough one when I'm stamping. So I'm coming in with my lovely Bippity Boppity glue. And I'm just putting that all around. And then I'm going to add that just there. And a bit of Boppity glue will just take a couple of minutes to just glue perfectly. And I'm going to add a few splats, but that's why I wanted to pop it in my journal first. I'm going to move everything out of the way. And then just at the bottom here, so again, I've given my pen a good shake and I'm just being gentle using my brush and just guiding exactly where I want the splats, look. So I don't get them everywhere, just so I can guide them beautifully. We'll have a few up here and just in this corner, look. And then a few in the middle, just so it goes across. Let me pop my lid on. Just so it goes across, so I've got a lovely double page spread. So it almost flows nicely. And you know what, I do love that sparkle. She really is beginning to sparkle. So considering I just took my inspiration from a background that I'd made, oh, it must be months ago. I'm really pleased with that. And I know a few of you have been in touch and said your mojo's gone. So maybe look at some backgrounds that you've already made or some cleanups. That might give you some inspiration. And if I bring my card and envelope back, so we've got the lovely page in my mini journal, but also it gave me the inspiration to turn it into a card design as well. And I love to work that way, that we can create both. So thank you very much for joining me. I'm just going to pop that under there. So you take care. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. But I might just pop back tomorrow night just to say hi again. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.